Bibia boko commission also.
Very quiet place.
Good. Bibia nam no kwan 247 ye adwuma.
Yes, adwuma.
Bibia dana
obeti niema.
Ye beti nioma. Hana minim de ntia o gidi se chese ade no bibia nam ne kwan mu sa wo ho akokuduro pa. Because me kai pa se de.
Yeah. Wow. Me word be me chiri pa plans are far advanced.
Momo nya sa ade ni.
Ye me pesa niema no.
Plans are far advanced.
It's a word I don't like.
It's a drawing board you crown pay.
Like, and so I make a baby, I have to make sure that Charlie
in the pipeline, yeah.
And she shall not the hope, and I shall see it. But, oh my, 1957, we are tired of plans are far advanced. You see, yeah, per resource.
Tibribiada, oh, you go shares, yeah, say.
Oh, that one, Bonnie say, talk is cheap. No, Ghana 4% mutie.
Yeah, we adianini.
Ya start ye gusu, yeah, and yeah, shall see years in here. These are the results. Wow. Then they can take you on. No marketize. Oh, be able to me better can the open. Oh, you per se,
But we are. Yeah, per se.
Oh, you start and tell them. Wow, they can verify. Unless you are saying, yeah, at the end of the bedroom, then people will have to come there.
Yes, will be about bedroom. We say bedroom.
Yeah, so start it. Tell them why you started. Wow, they can go and verify and check. Oh, okay, Accra, this number of years, and I say, and now, Achia, and I say, and I am Pebibisa. That is what.
But only Ghana for the ejuma.
And I say I had Ghana.
But I asked this question for a reason because of the kind of discipline out there share a year commission on no. Because there's only Ghana for a year man why engage amanophobia be fra system or more.
There be amani saying why? Na say Ghana for the running mice no. O mahini Edua Prim huge mine 734 workers MD to cleaner. Say cleaner na last person or the lowest rank jobber 100% Ghanaian. 15, 20 years ago, even 5, 7 years ago, you don't see that. The entire mine is run by Ghanaians.
But commission what making, you've changed a lot of things.
Oh, you've changed a lot of things. We've come to build on what Eddie Camfono, you know.
But I have a disciplined commission.
Oh, yeah. We still have a lot to do.
Even in what you are doing.
Oh, 1,000, I say, a lot. Oh my, a lot. We have to gallop. I don't know whether that is a word.
Still, let's see too many.
A lot of things.
Because independently, buapayom for lack of a better word. There's many pa abahonum just to come and verify. Nyoma hodu aya na yankasa ya kika. And the feedback has been overly encouraging. What is there?
But as you listen to us, wow, you see, let me tell you what is going strong for us. Wow, me board chairman, board chairperson of a Prestia Huni Valley. That's a mining town for decades. Wow, me board chair, Barbara Tinjasi of a Prestia Huni Valley. A mining town, it's a Takwa. Wow. She was a former MP there. I think also a Kobiu. And she was mayor, I think board member of Minerals Commission, not a deputy minister for lands and natural resources. Into who was board chair of a mining town. Who was board chair or a former deputy minister of lands and natural resources. Also a lawyer and from such a community. Why would she struggle to understand a CEO if you bring your proposals that you per se idea we approve? Yes, because she comes from Prestia, Galamsey also of Prestia. So she will not struggle to understand the issue. And you know, the kind of people you have that you work with and also can. Do you understand where I'm coming from? Menene trans in there planning BB and me per se could discuss in my way board. Mama me approve and yes, yeah. And it's about small scale and all those things. Because our last scale or last scale on the chrome and our small scale several thousands. Into the Mukan saying, Obia Munim and Anopano.
Yes, so can
Inti me calling so, Madam. Me didn't share be about mini me management. I drink you. The person assistant might be in the small scale sector. The proposal me person and discuss your board. Why would she struggle to understand? Because she sees it. She free her former MP. Until she will not struggle and say, oh, what is this? And I mean, here. So that is number one. You understand? Because UBB so the call board nyanya approval. You see, so once you have the person who chairs the board, who understands that issue, because on no large scale, small scale, what the minister paying in that same sector, what time means of lands and natural resources that you understand? Or sign a lawyer, a buyer, and all those things. I then it's all bread. And you have no struggle to come and explain if you are small scale mining and galamsey and now Mekoka underground mine and Abibisa, she will struggle to understand.
She's lived it, she
sees it, she comes from there. Wow. And maybe one of the reasons is that when you don't do square specs in round holder, this is how you end up. This is how you end up.
Wow. What can say?
It's part of it. I mean, hard truth. Wow. If you are working with people who understand the issues, you don't struggle. Okay? Now then I make a catch and galamsey who are on TRC. Be that.
Because
team. Why DMP that? Was I deputy minister mines that? And now board Minkom. Or some call MPBU. So social issues arising from mining, challenges in mining committee and all those things. Until meeting she shall be back or say okay. And once me the man now I can okay, let's table it and have a discussion.
But forgive me.
So that is number one, because Ubi BRS or board approval now. And some of their minister that's a practice everywhere. You don't just take things straight to minister. If a minister from Crown only needing come on about government director, you still go back to your board and say, minister call cabinet about the government and directives, because government is the one that runs the show. He is in charge of mines. Into your buying per se in Shisha way. Wow, into your friend no catch him and no trauma me. Except me here proposals will be and I mean be board in discussing first, because that's where you get approval for funding. Wow, oh yeah, per se way. Okay, we need this kind of money to do it. If they don't understand, they won't approve it. Well, so I think that's what, that is number one.
But in effect.
And number two, I make the same way. Those who want to understand it very well. Those who don't want to understand, it's up to them. Omahini, listen carefully. We are the biggest producer of gold in Africa. Number 6 in the world.
Ghana.
Yes. Very soon, you'll become number 5. We have more than, if you like, 50 minerals in the world. Minerals, a dozen baby, too many minerals in the world. Okay? And over the whole world now, about half of the world's budget for exploration in fishing is just for gold. Okay? About half or a little over half of the billions that are set aside by individuals, companies all over the world to explore for mineral, exploration, prospecting. Half Dudona is for gold. That's number one. Besides about 50 plus minerals, still counting, discoveries are being made. So gold, it means you are very attractive. But here's the point. You see, the biggest producer of gold in the world, Newmont. Biggest producer of gold. Newmont is the biggest producer of gold on planet Earth.
We are seeing now.
Yes. almost 2 huge operations in Ghana.
Mikromi a beneficiary.
Baku or Achim and a Baku or Ahafo. Yeah, can say almost see another one. Ahafo no 30 kilometers.
Yeah.
It's almost about $1 billion this year. Kwako do Bronya how ABI commission. Wow. Until you have 3 big mines. Last year, almost time be $15 billion. Echo Tor, another company in Australia. So they have even become bigger. $15 billion. They used to buy New Crest. So they have even become bigger. The second company in the world in terms of gold cry and Beomo. Omahini, they have operations all over the world. I think they've been around for like 100 years. An American company. Omo market capitalization some of the countries, their GDP.
Market capitalization.
Of course. We share asset August. Bank of Ghana data. The entire receipts of everything that left this country was about 11 or so billion. Okay, gold alone contributed about 43%. So even between January to August last year, according to Bank of Ghana data, the total receipts, let's run it up to even 12 billion. It's about $3 billion less than Sikana Newmont Tamoye to another company in Australia.
Even if you run it 12 billion.
12 billion. Yeah, 12 billion. Total receipts, exports from 1st January to 31st August. I mean, the data is there. It's roughly about 11 point something billion dollars. Everything that left this country last year for that 8-month period. Newmont took $15 billion to go and buy New Crest Australia. Do you understand that? Look at that. And then you have such a company operating in Ghana. It means that, I mean, the Sika Omuwono is even more than your total exports in a year. Omahini, the kind of operations they've set up in Ahafo, underground, open pits, and a technology will deploy, and the modern technology and things they will put there, which is running into billions now. So we are regulator to the Minerals Commission. So we are mine inspector, whether for metallurgy, because they look at the processing plant. So we are inspector mechanical. We are inspector mining. You understand that? Now we come mine for inspection to see whether Bibia to see now whether they are following the rules now. You so being because you enter underground. If you call your inspector at Minerals Commission in charge of electricals, who run underground to go and check whether the electrical installations and a mining inspector whether Niamana you know, is it health and safety wise? No fire outbreak now because me call underground several leader. Papa, here could to stay there. But I say if you are underground, sometimes you don't know say maybe also underground. Like everything's supposed to be there. Electrical installation, ventilation, and all those things. Wow, you know, for example, all these underground mines, you know, as a inspector who is also good in ventilation. Into you can say that no, this is poor, this is a health and safety hazard, stop it, and I'm closing down the mine. How can a minerals commission inspector be able to do that effectively if he's not properly trained? And yes, piano almost through. Oba crap, they are not. Oba, they almost through because Oba now Pierre they laugh at you because ABR. You should have spotted this basic even health and safety hazards. Even science not placed properly. Okay, so it means that at worst, the level of knowledge of the Mincom inspector should be at par with that of the regulator. That of the mining company. I say you won't name dear than even the mines, but.
Enye crown. I say no boss of paper.
Say at par.
Capacity building.
Capacity building. Into no, maybe that's what you have heard. Into no, Tiona, Ufu say, Minas Commission is just another institution. You are joking.
As we are talking.
You are joking. Into no, Mikadebia say, an institution like Minerals Commission, Petroleum Commission. They are so specialized that if we need to spend billions to build capacity,
we have to.
And yes, sir, because look, you can say we have over 10 underground. First, underground mines are essentially now and this discussion is very important.
But it's at our own expense. Underground now
you have accident.
Minerals Commission.
Oh dear, T. First, underground. ABN Obuasi Prestia. So say more than 10. Who the medium size can cry 10 and more than that. So who the mama boss Prestia underground. Obuasi underground. Okay, Obuasi that's about 1 kilometer deep. Who they calculating now? And then Wasa, Ukwa champion Wasa. Omu investment now there will be twice the depth of Obuasi. Into Wasa underground, Prestia underground, Obuasi underground, Chirano underground. Asante go BBNI, they will start the underground very soon. Now, if I went to in China, or mining many of the small scale areas underground. So, uko takwasea, then tai takwaya kase, nkofoshe omu yejuma. Wow, almost omu yejuma. Uko, especially north, they have a lot of underground small scale mines. Until recently, BBI south. Wow. It means that when it comes to underground, ventilation is very key. So you must have your engineers who should be good in ventilation. Wow. Into so like South Africa, where the mines there are deep, 4 kilometers.
Oh,
yes. Who they are doing 4 kilometers. Even 100 meters. 100 meters are Tumrika.
And they are there.
Deep down there. Wow. So it's very expensive. Wow. Ubisa Ghana for some Mumfa Sikabeshima or so, or could sit down or real estate or could pass as you cantonment. No, I could sit down and you be a brofuna mobile expatriate, they will rent it. Or Benyani Sika. Wow. And then you turn around and say, your consensus is Abrofu and all those things. I sent my down and now crowd, yes. The whole Takwa. Not just large scale, small scale. Okay? And yes, it means that many of our mining engineers and inspectors and all those things, they should have deep and sound knowledge about that kind of thing that goes underground. Okay? Okay, Germany sees one disaster. TBB says some of your players, we saw said they need some of these big stars, I say and all those things. So that is a matter. They say lithium. Wow, 50% of the world's lithium producing from Australia. Australia company, and I bet so lease with them. What does that mean? I said Minerals Commission, you find your staff in some call Australia. Wow, you find call Australia. But TNE. That is what we have been doing to ourselves as a nation. Intina, ya so near Maswa. Intina, they be a this famous illustration. We permitted lawful small scale mining in 1989. 30 years in here, at least 30 years. Ukwa na ya Ashanti, Eastern, Central, West, in Upper East, Boga, ye be office or nipa be 100,000 and the BIS near Moma Geological Survey Sika, near Fire Shishim, so they be pass as your momo, O Kao, and a guinea worm and a malaria of like 30 years in you. 30 years in you as a nation. I don't know whether that's a right tree word. Which is typical of us. 30 years. I then now moving from 5 to 13 regions. A yak of 14 crab because you might be oti me chrome ho. Wow, and a technology deposit on to me mine, mining money. because it is said there, and even villages crying to me a blood test easily. Wow, missing people even without going to hospital. Technology has changed the face of mining. Wow, and as I say, you have about 3 million people whose livelihood depends on mining, small scale, 10 million. Omahini, it is a shame, say, Nyamana television about Galamsey, that those things are happening. But you cannot get up and, as a crew, now the plaster bosom, because you don't want the fly to come over when you should go to hospital and go and get treatment. In some your attitude, no. For us at Minerals Commission, say the staff back outside for training so that we can match Newmont, gold fields. Okay? Because number 1, Newmont will have. Number 4, I'm going to go to Ashanti more. The whole world in Africa,
it's a tight thing.
You see, I'm not talking about Africa. I'm talking about the whole world. Number 1 will have. Number 4, I'm going to go to Ashanti will have. Number 6, gold fields will have. And number 10, I remember Shandong. Meanwhile, China is the biggest producer of gold in the world. China is the biggest producer of gold in the world. And then Australia. Number 6. China. And the biggest producer of gold in China is Shandong. Shandong owns Cardinal. Into 1 to 2 near my year. ASEMPA 2.
Then capacity building.
It is everything to us.
Because day by day,
into 24 say the nam ye nam into no about mining ni France petroleum because me a petroleum law, so I know what I'm talking about. I'm also a petroleum lawyer. Into about mining ni petroleum, I say Ghana 40 as ye say. Yen to mean treaty the sector as an ordinary area. Wow, institution to send no Gucci, and now all the 13 institutions under CSR, food research, crop research. This, you see, this scientific institution
very specialized.
I say yet we should hit our chest hard and say we are going to pump millions into that area.
Now
the acupuncture and Chinese phone they use Chinese medicine use umuni ha. Inti ade why mampon don't they have herbal medicine try and test it for malaria and other ailments? Why can't we put in more money and do it for other diseases? Can't herbal medicine change. I'm talking about herbal medicine that has gone through the proper, like the kind of thing that is at Mampong.
So we invest it and build the capacity.
But we have to do it now. In the Minerals Commission here, I can only talk to myself, but of course, I'm also speaking as a Ghanaian. Until sometimes, if we are spending money, big money, to do certain things as a nation, people should not be complaining.
Because one of the things that about Apple, independent in here, she can call capacity building. Because capacity building, it just them.
Because me person be catch me say, and I'm moti on a new month here, the omope. Because umbote, why? And I go first, almost 3 farmers so and I be bisa. Why should we allow that? Okay, as a nation, setting a priorities right, and that is what is happening now. Government has pumping so much in Minerals Commission, so much. Me Minister Daroma, Minya Kappa, oh, it's okay, approve, go and do it. Matthias here. Oba any transit. You can't say this is how the sector is.
Then you are fortunate to be working with people who understand the game.
And me lack no. That me biggest lack me means I need me bought here because omutia see pa into me minutes I come meeting 5 minutes on my PA. Wow, yeah choco, no afraid bra. My kind, okay, aha. Over to me at Mukakra. 5 minutes. You see, so every CEO, every minister, and your board chair, you must be online. Namun team who wants it. Wow, by next week, you'll be share for the year's job. By next week, until by the end of January, we know what we should do for this year. Wow, continuing from last year or previous years, until every month be the report, but now only not transit. we unya there, we watch a dodo, we are then still won't start here. No monitor because on also now call cabinet. Into mining dear. Let me tell you something. Ghana manganese. I mean, this is just the introductory things to start the year with. Next week, about Boston, because I wanted to discuss 10 years of local content. This January is exactly 10 years.
But this conversation is very, very good.
But maybe I'll do a little bit of wrap up on that. And then next week, I'll go deeper. Omahini, we started exporting manganese in Ghana 1916. Let's work it out.
1916.
Yes. Would you say we have just started the year? So as at last year, that is 107 years. 1916, yes, started say exporting manganese in Ghana, in Suta, raw. 107 years. It is this year, Minister Daruma, and here Barbesi refinery.
All these years. No?
Yes. All these years. All these years. 100 years. In Ethiopia, at the time Chief Imam was born, perhaps. That great man. Ibia Oswano. So he's a little over 100. And he started. Yes.
Yes, Jumana.
See, you bring full report in the end of this month. And then you know mobile timelines. Your member who be here into they are going to spend about $400 million to build a refinery. So you better create additional 300 jobs. And then we are not only going to refine the ore to produce manganese alloy, but on my hini, when your plants are far advanced. So that's what I've been saying. And the only BB, they will upgrade the manganese so that we can use it for these battery minerals. This battery, because manganese is a key component. Apart from lithium, nickel, manganese, cobalt, when you have battery minerals, now you have battery, no? So it will take like 22 months. The infant said roughly 2 years to complete. Okay? On my end, 107 years. Why do we do this to ourselves? But I've always believed, sir, it's not late. Minister never pushy say no, we cannot have this thing going on forever. Nearby pushy, box size too, a lot of things are happening. Next week we'll be some new things happening. And you know, near Marcos, things have gone wrong a lot in this sector, but we are writing it. So let's circle back a little bit on 10 years of local content. Omahini, this local content reforms, this January is exactly 10 years. You started with our list of 8 items in 2014. 8 items. That is $148 million. 8 items, okay? And 10 years on. I don't want to even say 10 years because 2023 reports won't buy it. But within 8 years in OTA, we have moved from $148 million to $2 billion.
$148
million, 8 items. Says you see items in here 50. But 2023 report I cover 50 items. But Usha 2022 report I already, which I'm here to discuss. To me, okay, you're talking about $2 billion on local content. So I asked myself, this is what I want Ghanaians to know.
ASEMPA FM.
Everything that went to government by way of receipts, over royalties, over withholding taxes, and all those things is roughly about $1 billion. And the company spent $2 billion to make purchases, various inputs, and a contract need their from a total revenue of $5.6 billion, 33% of the expenditure of the companies went into local content.
33%.
33%. So we don't want to pat ourselves on the back. We could have done better because you see, what is important is we're moving from 33 to about 50 to even 70. So it means that a car almost can almost spend it on what do you call it, local content. It is twice the money that goes to government.
money spent. No.
Yes, Intina, President Casio, and yet Bibia never call state honor. I understand him very well. That's a smart thinking. Because at the end of the day, you know, it is a Ghanaians who must benefit. Into me, I said, dear, minimum commission, yeah, I said, you say, you make sure that this 33%, which is roughly about 2 billion for just 29 items. 29 items. We have 2022 report. So you can imagine 2023 report that will get very soon for 50 items.
So this is 29.
This is 29 items. Just 13 operations. Mami more figures. So, 20, my favorite, 2022 report. The discusses is here. Explosives, $150 million. Explosives in Kwan. Now, Hermione, explosives is the DNA of mining. How do you break up the rocks? $150 million was spent by mining companies. $150 million was spent by mining companies on explosives. That's 13 companies operations.
Local.
Yes, this is 2022 report. Wow. Let me tell you something. Also highlight how far we have come. And now we call Ghana Manganese. That huge operation. We call Ghana Bauxite. Barely 6 months or so, Ghana ni and running the explosives. Wow. Oh, a year or so, na Bruni, foreign company. Now, Cardinal Bell Commission this year, by November, I have enough. Azuma Bell started construction this quarter. Lithium hopefully will also start construction maybe next year. But at least, me and Ubi being this year, they'll use explosives. So that means that because we move from 101 to 150 in a split of 1 year.
So it is too shoot.
ABI in about 2-3 years now, all these 4 new mines will be in operation. Explosives in Kwambe Kobe be $400 million.
To shoot.
Minas Commission, you said this $400 million. And a bit me akaha. Those are the kind of things we should be channeling our energies to. Another figure. Fuel 2022 report. Just 13 operations. $436 million. $436 million was spent by mining companies to buy fuel. In fact, lubricants can't. The lubricants can't. We're talking about roughly $600 million. Omahini, until 2020, it was free for all. Foreigners were setting up and selling fuel.
It's no more.
Into see procurement list, the law is that no foreign company can set up and supply fuel to the mine. So what it means is that this $436 million, Mamimbo full figure, no, 436,817, because this is a full report, 026.58. So roughly $436 million spent on fuel. The money stayed in Ghana.
Local content.
Yes. The so-called 33% I see they spend.
So content and participation.
For an wow. And a contract mining.
Oh wow.
2022, $912 million. So roughly it's about $1 billion. Say the contract member say, come and drill blast hole for me. That is it. When you are a local content, okay, and into what we are doing now is that gradually we are pushing Ghanaians into this to do it themselves, and then we are asking the foreigners to step back. Wow, if you like, let me be blunt here, Pamomo, where we are very careful manufacturing, because Obi Bana or be using the Sikano setup. You see, the local content is happening in 2 ways. Near Mabi or say Ghana for a and I here. So I know dear will not allow you. My bobo be soon to say medical service and all those things. There are some areas who open it up, but don't import, come and do it here. So that's how far we have come. But we can do more, we can do better. what is important is that this 33% expenditure of all these 13 companies, okay, it should have been perhaps 50 or 70. Into me can be say, if we really want mining, say, and benefit this country, 5 areas and see a tackle which we are doing. No. Local content is one, and you can see what we've been doing. On mining, I'm saying from $148 million local purchases, okay, in 2014, 8 items, to now $2 billion. I don't want to say 10.
We are not stopping. We are
yes, you stop here. This is now. Even I don't want to say, look, the reforms have been there for 10 years, 2014 to 2024. But you see, we've not looked at 2023 report yet, which is 50 items. I'm going through 2022 report until you have said 8 years. So you have moved from $148 million to $2 billion. My wish would have been, let's say, we should be doing even 3, 4, 5 billion. But as I said, nothing is too late. If 107 years you have not refined manganese is happening now, I mean, it's okay. Nothing is late.
Then what it means
is and then in Accra because they are doing a lot of exploration for manganese in Savannah. So me can say extreme crown there. O mine is aneti. Wow. Into mining dear. Oh dear, look, I appreciate this anger, this so-called ecological genocide, and this environmental damage from this galamsey thing. But you bet me, but it takes time to fix certain things. So 10 years, a decade of local content reforms. This is how far we've come. Yeah, dear
very encouraging.
No, but we still have a lot of work to do.
Very encouraging.
Me, the partner say there are a whole lot of things I just stop here, bro. For no. And now brought to me a contract mining.
Okay.
I brought to me a medical services. Even tailings dams. Who name the boy?
This is the
then you are gonna phone a wow. Into no Titina Yambaha for public education, move so mining, almost a bush. They dig their stuff. Now, they take it out. No much royalties, Kakrebi. That's why when the lithium argument was being centered on shareholding, royalty, and all those things, I realized that, hey, Yayira Kwine or Mahini, the entire lithium debate was on shareholding. I say Unyam 50%, Unyam more taxes, tum increase the way. Oh Mahini, here am I telling you that 13 companies,
exactly.
13 companies, operations, not even company operations, and you know beyond only 13 operations spend $2 billion on local supplies, okay, in 2022. Government had twice, half of that in receipts. Where should you channel your energy? No, are you understanding it? Chile 8 to 26.
That means that we cannot do the normal thing that we
so the understanding is that you have to look at the entire chain. Wow, why are you over focusing on royalty? And then you charge royalty to say Chile. Okay, already I'm dismissing the argument because you don't have the same reserves like Chile. That is on 40% of the reserves. But I'm here presenting the full report of local content of 2022, which is now telling you that $2 billion was spent on local content as against about $1 billion. So over 50 items now, contract mining alone, the money that was spent on contract mining is the same as what government gets. And in royalty, or taxes, withholding tax, corporate tax scrap, or be spending $1 billion. This is about 4 or 5 years, and I was starting to tax. Into that $1 billion, you have to ask yourself, why don't you capture 800 million of the $1 billion he's going to spend to build a mine?
You better trust the chief executive.
That is the argument.
You better trust, but this is very encouraging.
Very encouraging. I say I'm on 40 years here. Into the supplies, the inputs. Never know what see mine, and then after the mine, Sika can move on every day. Wow. So my job and my job at Minerals Commission is to move the 33% they spend of their expenditure on local content to about 70%, and continue to bring measures that will reduce the importation, so that you have about $3-4-5 billion circulating in the economy, and not that 10% royalty on the wire, and now the other things now, and now people are looking at that, because you see, if I tell you people don't have information, and we'll publish this.
Okay, but that's because just information. All of us, our argument was that we cannot continue to do the norm and expect a change. But this education has been very useful, and this is very encouraging again.
Yes, we cry senior, comedies.
But that's
for the whole of January, February, I'll take Ghanaians through the local content report.
Yeah, Medasi.
Well, Hannah Scanwono.
Medasi, chief executive.